So you continued this all made sense to you at the time, or your lifestyle, right? You continued your ascent into the organization?
Yeah, yeah. A few months after I got in, there's a lot of controversy about whether or not there's a particular type of person who's more predisposed to be brought into something like this or not. I don't have the answer to that question, but I know that for myself, I have always been a person who kind of never did anything halfway. I mean, if I was going to do something, I would really do it all the way, and that's what I did with Scientology too, unfortunately. So that a few months after I got into it, I decided that I wanted to become a staff member in Scientology. And not only did I want to become a staff member, but I wanted to become a staff member in the inner circle of Scientology, which is called the Sea Organization. It's an unincorporated fraternal group of people who actually run Scientology. So I did. I joined the Sea Org in...
How difficult was that? Did you have to pass through many layers
well,
of
it's funny that you ask, because, you know, I was used to real life where you have to present a resume and you have to have credentials and, you know, you have to be educated for a particular field or whatever. So when I made the decision that I wanted to join the Sea Organization, I assumed that it would be the same kind of process. And I was really nervous and really afraid that they wouldn't accept me and all this kind of stuff. So I went to a great deal of trouble to put a resume together and make myself sound as attractive as I possibly could, as you do when you're trying to get a job. And I sent this all the way to Denmark, which was where I was originally planning on becoming a staff member. And within some miraculous amount of time, it seemed like the next day, but it must have been a couple of days later, I had an answer back saying, yes, you're accepted. We want you to come right away.
Wow. That was a good resume.
Well, I thought so. I thought, wow, this is great. You know, this is, they must really have thought I was very well qualified. It wasn't until later that I discovered you don't have to have any qualifications to join the Sea Org. There are recruiters who go out and look for people just on the street for joining staff to help with whatever, you know, kinds of work that they need. But at the time, I was just thrilled. I just thought, wow, I have really done it. This is great. I've really found my group. I'm just going to be so happy. It was kind of like, it was almost as if you were really a Trekkie, if you're really into Star Trek, and I've gone to a couple of Trekkie conventions, and these people would love nothing more than for the ship to land and, you know, for the recruiters to get out and for them to, you know, recruit for Starfleet Academy and for it to really be true. And Scientology really is kind of like that, really. I think it's the best way for me to describe it. It's a very science fiction world. It has galactic confederacy. It has space opera. It has lifetimes and lifetimes worth of space travel that we've all been through, and it's a very sort of romantic, very heady kind of view of the world that he created, and that Scientologists think is real. And so I really kind of felt like I was going to Starfleet Academy in a way.
Do you have to wear a uniform or anything?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Naval uniforms in the Sea Organization. It's very paramilitary. It's a paramilitary organization. But that was really what I thought I was going to. I think that's what a lot of people get into their heads, that, you know, you finally found a true group, you know, where the captain is always very reasonable, and everybody always gets along, and you know, it's just like on TV, which of course it never is, and it certainly wasn't in that group. But I think that level of idealism is what really gets people in there and gets people to stay. I know that the reason that when I got out there, the very first day, it was very obvious to me that this was no ideal group.
Why so?
The building that I was to report to turned out to be really close to a tenement. It was very, very run down in Hollywood. In Hollywood at that time, I think they started to kind of rejuvenate it a little bit at this point. But at that time, this was in the mid-'70s, it was really on its way down. And I reported to this building, which was kind of falling apart. And very ramshackle and kind of alarming to me. Have you seen that movie Benjamin, Private Benjamin,
yes.
with Goldie Hawn? You know, it's sort of like, I kind of had the idea that I was reporting to some really cool spaceshipish type of organization. Everything would be white and gleaming and beautiful, and everybody would be very intelligent and wonderful, and it didn't fit that picture at all, you know. And the people were kind of grubby, and this one man who was in charge of all of the new recruits was in a very, very bad mood and yelling at everybody, and really scary, and not at all what I had expected, and for some reason took an instant dislike to me because actually because you were supposed to call him sir. You know, it was sort of like new Navy recruits, you know, were supposed to report to their lieutenant or something like that. Well, I didn't know this, you know. And so I called him by his first name when he asked me something, and he just got furious at me and really took offense. And I thought, well, gosh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And it was kind of from the beginning, immediately. I thought, there's really something wrong here. They don't understand what's really supposed to be happening here. You know, I'm obviously not at the part of the organization that I meant to get to. So I sort of began a search at that point for the part of the organization that I had thought was what I was going to find. And I kept moving up the ranks.
You being paid well all this time, or do they pay you a living wage? Or?
You get paid about $24 a week, and
Wow.
you live in this organization. You're given room and board, and you live in. There's a big blue. Well, it used to be the Cedars of Lebanon Hospital Complex in Hollywood, on Sunset Boulevard, and it is painted blue, light blue, and we all lived in that building.
So you weren't out to sea very much.
Oh no! By 1975, that was over. Or 1976, I think, was when the ship landed for good, and those people moved to Clearwater, Florida, and they're all in Florida now.